Preface. I don't remember when I was bit. It might have been in the summer of 1991 or 92. My mother does, but she's not sure where it happened. It could have been on Nantucket, or in Bridgehampton, New York, or even in our yard in Greenwich, Connecticut, she thinks. Though she doesn't remember where it happened, she does remember finding the minuscule black creature with 8 legs on my tummy, right next to my funny-shaped birthmark. Mom remembers, too, that she did exactly what the pediatricians were telling mothers to do. She pulled the tick off of me with sterile tweezers, put it in a test tube, and brought it to have it tested. The tests came back inconclusive, but leaned more toward the negative side of the spectrum. My parents were dissatisfied with the inconclusive results and decided to seek out a specialist. Unfortunately, they were not given any hope or a list of symptoms to look out for. My mother is still very perplexed by the way the specialist handled the situation. Studies now find that some 50% of commonly used Lyme testing misses positive Lyme cases. 50%! It's fitting somehow, though, that neither my mom nor I remember where the bite occurred, and that doctors missed the correct diagnosis. Lyme disease is as sneaky as it is nasty. About half of the people infected by Lyme are like me. They can't tell you when they were bitten. A very small percentage of people who have been bitten by a tick recall a bullseye rash, which for years has been the medical community's common indicator that a person has Lyme. In fact, before it even bites you, the tick releases a combination of chemicals that act like an anesthetic, so most times you don't even know the little bloodsucker is burrowing into you. This is not a mosquito bite, people. Ticks can attach themselves to you for days because it takes that long for the spirochete bacteria to make its way into your bloodstream. Then it can take up to 3 weeks before you feel that anything's wrong, and even then, most people think they just have the flu. What happens next is where it really gets devious. Fact: after they have been bit, most people wait 2.5 years to receive a proper diagnosis. Lyme can mimic any number of illnesses. Believe me, I know. During my Lyme life, doctors would diagnose me with everything from mono to multiple sclerosis and dozens of other diseases in between. And in spite of a mountain of symptomatic evidence that supported the fact that I had Lyme, doctors would refuse to diagnose me with it because of the ambiguous results of the tests I was given. They call Lyme the invisible disease, or the great imitator, as if it's some kind of world-renowned stage actor. I can think of a couple of other names for it that aren't quite as complimentary. From the age of 7 or 8, I experienced Lyme-created nightmares of sickness, hospitalizations, disappointments, and depression. Yet, in kind of a perverse way, it has also been a gift. Because of it, I found an inner strength that I couldn't have imagined. It's a good thing, too, because I would need every ounce of that strength just to survive. I'm not some kind of singular hero, though. In fact, my Lyme story is literally 1 in a million. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, there are 34 new cases of Lyme every hour, and all of us are battling not only our illness, but a backlash of medical misconception, misinformation, and misdiagnosis. There are doctors right now, ones with diplomas from impressive medical schools hanging on their walls, who deny the reaches of this horrible disease. There are loving and caring family members who refuse to believe that their son, daughter, brother, or sister is really suffering from Lyme's effects. There are far, far too many who are never diagnosed and who couldn't afford the treatment if they were. No, my story is not unusual, but I believe it needs to be told, if only to give others a voice for theirs. Before I start telling it, though, I need to warn you of something. Lyme